Hey everybody, welcome back to the Consumer Warrior Podcast. A podcast that's dedicated to helping you with your big debt problems. If you're just dabbling in debt, this isn't the podcast for you. We deal with the big debt problems like repossession, debt collection lawsuits, foreclosure, bankruptcy, and all those other horrible things out there. We help you to help yourself. Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, John Skiba. I'm a consumer protection attorney in the state of Arizona, and I'm excited to also announce that I'm a newly minted certified Ramsey Solutions Master Financial Coach. This is a certification that the Dave Ramsey Group provides to people who take a course, which I did, and I passed with flying colors, to do financial coaching with people. So this is something that I'm really adding to my law practice to help people and give other options other than just bankruptcy. You know, a lot of times people come in, they have limited debt, and they think that bankruptcy is the only option. So I was excited to get this training, and it's something I've been planning on for quite some time because it is, just gives other options on how to deal with debt problems. So, and I'm also excited because I can do coaching all over the country. With my law license, I'm just limited to the state of Arizona, and I have a ton of people who come to my website and listen to this podcast and come to my YouTube channel who need assistance. And with the financial coaching, I can assist them with that because it's not legal services. It's more coaching, budgeting, and teaching strategies and skills to help people to get out of debt, build wealth, and stay out of debt. So if you want to learn more about that, you can go over to my website at consumerwarrior.com. And you can also, housed within there are the courses, the online tutorials, templates, all that kind of stuff to help you to get out of debt. That's at legal.coach. It's www.legal.coach. All right, so today's going to be the final installment of a little mini-series I've been doing on the Total Money Makeover and all the debt myths that are in that book. We've addressed, a number of them specifically, and today I wanted to finally address one that has to deal with divorce. This is on 62 of the book, if you have a copy of it. The myth that Dave points out is he says that my divorce decree says my spouse has to pay the debt, so I don't. I run into this misconception, this misunderstanding of the law and debt quite often in my law practice, where someone will come in, they're being sued by a debt collector, or they're thinking they need to file for bankruptcy, and I start going over their debt with them. And they say, okay, here's my debt. There is some debt that's in my name, but my ex-spouse, my ex-husband agreed in the divorce decree that he would pay those, so I'm not responsible for those. And that's totally wrong. And the reason why is because the way you need to look at a divorce decree, the divorce decree is essentially a contract, a court-sanctioned contract or an agreement between you and your ex-spouse. You're the only parties to it. You're listed on the caption of the case. It's you and your ex-spouse. You are the parties to that agreement. And, in most divorce decrees, the judge will go through and in column A, they'll have what he's going to pay. Column B, they have what you're going to pay. And then, you go your separate ways. Now, you are both bound to that divorce decree. You have to follow through, or you run the risk of being in contempt of the divorce decree or in violation of the terms of it, and the court can order you to take certain actions. However, your creditors are not parties to your divorce decree, and they are not bound by your decree. So if you have a credit card with Citibank and it's in your name, but the divorce decree says that your ex-spouse is going to be responsible for paying it, if he doesn't pay it, you're still on the hook. They can still come after you. They can still call and collect and do everything else that they want to do to try to collect on that debt, and you're going to be liable for it. They're going to hurt your credit. They can sue you. They can garnish you. They can do all those horrible things, even though the court ordered him to pay that particular debt. Now, you do have some recourse through the family law court. If you have to pay some money on this Citibank card because they sue you and they garnish your wages, you could then go into your family court case and say, hey, judge, he agreed to pay this. You ordered him to pay this. He didn't do it. I had to pay it. I want to be reimbursed. That's legally what you can do. However, what you're going to experience is that's often a big hassle. That can be expensive with attorney's fees. And if you've dealt with family law cases, it just can cause a whole other host of problems. So often people don't do that. So it's something to be aware that just because in a divorce decree one spouse has agreed to pay those certain debts, that doesn't mean that the creditor has to honor that. And you'll find that out if you tell the creditor, if they're calling you for collections and you tell them, hey, he agreed to pay it, they may call him and try to collect on it, but they're not going to be bound by that. They may just go after both of you instead of just one of you. Also, if you're in a state like Arizona, where I practice, which is a community property state, that adds a whole other layer to everything, and there's a good chance you're liable, even if it's not in your name, because most debts that are incurred during marriage are generally considered joint in community property states. So that myth that'll end this little mini series. I'm in agreement with that one as well. That if just because a debt is given to somebody else in the decree, that doesn't mean that you're no longer responsible for it. So you still need to deal with it, whether it's through something like Dave, his plan as far as like a debt snowball, getting rid of it, or whether it's a bankruptcy in probably more extreme situations. You still have to deal with it. It's still going to be a problem. So that will do it for this episode, and it'll do it for our little mini-series. Hope you enjoyed that. If you want to go back and check those out if you haven't, we've addressed a number of topics of common things that I hear in my law practice, that people have these beliefs about money and about debt that just simply aren't true, and they can end up causing you a lot of grief down the road if you're operating under bad information on that. So again, I want to thank the sponsor for today's episode, which is the Consumer Warrior Project. This is the place where all the templates and tutorials and forms, all those resources to help you get out of debt or house. That, again, is over at legal.coach. And if you're interested in financial coaching services and working with me, I can do that nationwide now as a certified Ramsey Solutions Master Financial Coach. We can help you in getting your finances back on order, get rid of debt, and start to build some wealth. So that's going to do it for this episode. Appreciate you listening in, and I will catch you next time.